Like, look how lame does this looks. Come on, man. It's almost offensive, bro. Okay, guys, welcome to another video. Right now, we're gonna check this video called "From the Infographic Show." I think we've watched a video of theirs before. But would Mexico be able to fight off the USA? But I think we all know the answer. It's pretty obvious that the answer is no. But I think what I want to learn is how bad would we lose, which I think it'd be kind of bad. And yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Let's just do it. Let's just watch it.
Mexico and the USA enjoy good relations for the most part right now, but that wasn't the case in the 19th century when the two countries were fighting over territory. The two nations presently enjoy good trading relations, with Mexico being the fourth largest trading partner of the US behind the European Union, China, and Canada. Both cultures to some extent have crossed borders and permeated each country, but we see more Mexicans moving across the border to settle in the US rather than the other way around. Today this is a divisive issue, culminating in the new president's promise to construct a wall to keep out illegal immigrants. Nevertheless, in many ways the countries still have a healthy relationship. Today we'll discuss what would happen if that was not the case. In this episode of the Infographic Show, USA versus Mexico. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad.
We lost Texas the last time that we tried, so we're definitely not going to do it.
Invasion, it would seem, wouldn't be too hard as the countries share a border, which between Tijuana and San Diego is the most cross-border in the world. It measures approximately 1,989 miles. On the American side sits a little more than 325 million people. On the Mexican side sits close to 130 million people. The USA is a much larger country, measuring 3.8 million square miles, while Mexico is close to 762,000 square miles. They are the third and 13th largest countries in the world, respectively. Interestingly, if these two nations should go head-to-head, it's worth noting that the Pew Research Center said in 2016 there were 5.6 million Mexican unauthorized immigrants living in the US. Pew also said that in 2016, almost 36 million Mexican Americans were legally living in the USA, accounting for a good portion of the nation's population. According to an article in The Guardian published in...
I think it's something like 1 out of 9 Mexicans alive lives in America, and you know, if we do the math, it might actually be slightly higher than that. It might be like 1 out of 8. So hey, that's important.
2017, approximately 2 million Americans have made Mexico their home, while USA Today states that thousands more Americans are living in Mexico on tourist visas and one-year temporary visas. The Guardian writes, Mexico is the country with the largest community of US citizens living outside of the United States. In terms of our comparison, it is important to take into account these numbers. More so the amount of possible Mexico sympathizers in the US that could cause internal mayhem than the Americans in Mexico, many of whom are retirees. 157,227 Mexican immigrants came into the USA in 2015, and over 1 million more are still on a waiting list. So in terms of where loyalty lies, we'll let you decide. The USA...
Come on, guys, if you want to help me out with growing my YouTube channel so I can be on that waiting list, that'd be pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie.
Is the world's biggest spender on defense by a long shot. Of its $19.4 trillion GDP, around 3.3% of that cash is spent on the military. That number for 2016 was roughly $611 billion. US
like
President Donald Trump
economy.
has allocated around $587 billion from the US discretionary budget for 2017 for defense. Most of this goes towards the running of the military, but the US is also a big spender when it comes to research and development and the creation of new military technology. In terms of troops, the US has 1.3 million active military personnel and a further 811,000 acting as reserve personnel. Mexico's GDP is barely over $1 trillion. Of that, in 2016, around $7 billion was spent on the country's defense budget, according to Global Firepower. We can find other sources that claim this number is lower. Still, Mexico is not considered to be a country that spends heavily on defense when compared to other smaller and larger nations. Mexico has 273,575.
I mean, honestly, I think the reason why we don't spend that much on the military is because we don't really need to. Who are we gonna go to war against? Like Guatemala? Like, come on. We're not gonna go to war with anyone, at least soon. And if like something were to happen, I think we had like US protection, like, I don't know. I don't think the U.S. would want like China or Russia invading Mexico, you know, through the southern border and having all those problems. So I think if shit were to hit the fan, we would be like America protectee. I don't know.
Active military personnel and a further 110,000 acting as reserve personnel. With all that money to spend, the USA has quite...
By the way, Mexico has a draft, and don't tell the government, but I might have maybe dodged the draft. I know that might be a joke. It might not be a joke.
A cache of land artillery. According to Global Firepower, the country has 5,884 tanks, 41,000 armored fighting vehicles, 1,934 self-propelled guns, 1,299 towed artillery, and 1,331 multiple launch rocket systems. Only 2 countries own more tanks than the USA, and they are China and Russia. Some of the US's land equipment is the best in the world, and that includes the extolled M1 Abrams tank, as well as the M109A6 Paladin self-propelled gun and the TOW anti-tank missile. Mexico, on the other hand, is not quite so tooled up. The country has to its name 0 tanks, 695 armored fighting vehicles.
0 tanks? Oh, come on. That's BS, dude. Like, that can't be real. 0 tanks? Come on. Like, that's... No. I mean, this is a tank, right? Like, I saw the military parade. I don't know, dude. I don't know why he said we don't have any tanks. I'm pretty sure we do. Or maybe we don't. I don't know. The Mexican military industrial complex. Come on, we ought to have tanks. That's like basic. God, dude, do we suck that bad? Really? I'm not finding a lot of like pictures tanks. Ah, dude, that's lame. Maybe it is true. Maybe we don't have any tanks, and we only have like less than 700 of these AFBS. I don't know what that means. Gosh, that's lame.
12 self-propelled guns, 375 towed artillery, and 0 multiple launch rocket systems. This does not bode well for a land invasion alone, never mind what might be coming from the air or by the sea. America, in terms of equipment anyway, is no doubt king of the skies military-wise. Its growing fleet of F-35A Lightning IIs might be costing the taxpayer more than $11 billion this year alone, much more than the entire Mexican defense budget, but it has much more waiting in reserve. We should note that the F-35s have been criticized and belittled as a waste of money by some critics, while it's well known they have faced many technical problems. Nonetheless, the USA also owns among its 13,444 aircraft large fleets of highly touted F-22A Raptors, F-16 Fighting Falcons, F-15E Strike Eagles, McDonnell Douglas CF-18 Hornets, and FA-18E Super Hornets.
Okay,
Mexico, on the other hand, owns 452 aircraft, but none of them are fighter aircraft.
Like, look how lame does this looks. Come on, man, it's almost offensive, bro. Like, look at all these like professional made planes, and then look at this. It's almost a joke.
It retired its small number of Northrop F-5E and 2 F-5F Tiger IIs recently, and doesn't seem interested in buying.
You know, I know there's like veterans who watch my videos, and I appreciate you guys tremendously. Could you help me a little bit with the name of the equipment? I have no idea how bad this is, you know, compared with all of these especially. But, you know, if you hear any name and you can help me out in the comments, that'd be pretty good.
Any more fighters. The country now relies on its PC-97 and T-6C Plus light attack trainers to protect its skies, which are no match for the US's aerial firepower. It doesn't get any better in the water for Mexico, a country not known for its naval prowess. Not surprisingly, Mexico doesn't have an aircraft carrier, nor does the country have its own destroyers. Dude. It has just 6 frigates, 3 corvettes, 131 patrol craft, and 11 mine warfare vessels. Its navy is more concentrated on Mexico's huge drug problem and offering relief in times of natural disasters. Its small navy is reasonably well equipped for those tasks. The US Navy is one of the largest and strongest in the world. It has a total of 11 aircraft carriers, 22 cruisers, 67 destroyers, 8 frigates, 75 submarines, 0 corvettes, 9 amphibious assault ships, 11 mine warfare ships, and 55 patrol ships. It also owns a behemoth in the Gerald R. Ford class supercarrier. Alone, this thing can be a deadly force. Obviously, the US military outpowers the Mexican military at perhaps a difference we have not yet seen in our military comparisons, and we haven't even mentioned nuclear. However, as we have seen throughout history, power alone doesn't always spell victory. What would happen internally in the US if these two countries fell out is not something we would like to see, but all those Mexicans in the USA would make matters difficult for America. So, what do you think of this hypothetical matchup? Let us know.
Gosh, man, that was kind of embarrassing, dude. Like, I felt bad. I felt like, gosh, are we really this bad? But anyways, like I said, the government has enough problems, so I think the army is not gonna be like one of them. I don't know, dude. If you like this video, like it, give it a share, give it a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.